Livestock farmers in East Africa are getting hit hard by the drought that has continued its dominance. With little water and grazing ground, subsistence farmers are faced with losing their animals to diseases and famine. The stark reality is that these animals may also no longer provide a decent profit from milk or meat. It is in this bleak situation that urban farmers with greater access to credit can step in and fill the gap. Coming up on Seeds of Gold,
I realized there was potential in goat farming.
We speak to Grace Woji, a commercial farmer who buys goats from smallhold farmers in Rakai and resells them at a profit.
I started with local goats. They normally call them Mubende goats. I started with around 30 goats. And then after 3 months, I added more 20 goats. And each goat, I got it at 110.
Grace Woji was raised on a farm in Chivanda. On Twitter, she refers to herself as a professional social worker, a mother, passionate farmer with an inclination to commercial farming of Boran cows, Savannah and Boer goats. She juggles teaching at Chambogo University with farming both in Mukono and Rakai. She currently has 135 goats of different breeds.
That goat going, that one, that is a Mubende goat. Local, the ones we call local. This one. This is a Boer goat I got from Zimbabwe. You see they are climbing the tree. They like being up all the time. You see those two male goats, the way they are standing next to each other. The white ones, one is a Savannah and one is a crossover girl. I got it from Kenya. When you cross them with our local goats, you'll get a heavier and taller goat, which is good for beef farmers. This one is short East African, and actually most of the farmers are phasing them out of their stock because they rarely grow fat.
She is very hands-on and comfortably falls into the farmyard routines of looking after livestock whenever she travels from Kampala.
My startup was not an easy one, but I started with a loan from a friend of 5 million shillings, and out of that I got 2.5, and I sourced for goats from around this sub-county of Chivanda sub-county, and I constructed this structure the way you see it, plus the goat pen at 2.5. I tried to minimize the costs as much as I could because the wood you see around, I got it from within the farm. So I started in 2015, that is 19th December 2015.
Salt Lick hangs in one of the simple wooden structures within the goat farm. Open pen is the reserve of the goats whenever they are back from the daytime grazing, while the raised pen houses and free-range chicken. All these structures are fenced off with wooden poles and planks. The enclosure sits on half an acre of land while grazing fields stretch for over 2 miles. She began rearing these goats on farm family property back in 19th December 2015.
I started with local goats. They normally call them Mubende goats. I started with around 30 goats, and then after 3 months, I added more 20 goats. And each goat, I got it at 110. Basically, it was 100,000, so I included the 10,000 for the person who was doing the chasing for me to get me the goats to this farm. After getting the 30 goats, I added on more 20 goats progressively because I didn't have enough resources by that time. So I went to Zimbabwe district with the help of a vet. He got me 2 good billies. These are male goats. I got a Boer goat at 800,000. I also got a Savannah young goat. I think by that time it was 8 months. I got it at 400,000. I brought them here to Rakai in this sub-county to cross them with these local goats. And that is when my business started growing and growing and growing, and this is where I am now.
Here is a look at what each breed cost Grace in 2015. 1. Mubende, 110,000 Ugandan shillings. 2. Savannah, 400,000 Ugandan shillings. 3. Boar, 800,000 Ugandan shillings. 4. Gala, 650,000 Ugandan shillings. Her other running costs include labor, 2 herdsmen at 75,000 Ugandan shillings per month, drugs every 3 months at 50,000 Ugandan shillings. 3. Ear tags at 2,200 Ugandan shillings.
I also put mineral blocks as compared to the Sura, the Lake Katwe salt. This has all the kind of nutrients the goats need. Unlike the impurities, the local salt we normally buy in the market, local, they call it Sula. Hygiene is also key. We sweep this pen every day, every day, every day. That if this pen is not swept every day, you find goats having flu, they cough, they are sickly, basically they don't look well. It's just like a human being staying in a dirty house. You don't feel well. I constructed this pen on a raised ground. This was an ant hill. Actually what happens, I've already told you, goats like raised ground. They don't like staying where it's dumpy. When they urinate somewhere, they never stay there. They always come here. And the good thing about a raised pen, that even when they urinate up, the urine and the droppings normally end up down. Actually, when you come back in the morning, the droppings are mostly there. They are naturally clean animals.
She also provides her labor with housing and food off the property, a cost which is not tabulated. Grace crossbreeds Mubende goats with exotic breeds, merging the best of their DNA qualities. This has given her a breed that packs on more weight, thus fetching higher market sales. She has a particular pattern to her sales.
Currently, at this farm, I sell nannies. These are female goats. What I normally do, I sell pregnant goats. They fetch more money as compared to these other male castrates. I sell a female goat which is pregnant between 200,000 to 250, depending on its age, depending on the breed, and depending on even its size. Kampala people want big sizes, so that's what I normally do. And then I also sell male goats to farmers. I sell male goats to farmers. I normally deliver to Kampala. And how do I do that? What I normally do, we select the goats we want to sell. We put them in the crush there. I take nice pictures of them in different angles. I post on all the platforms, the farmers platforms. We have farmers platforms. I post, I'm selling this goat 200,000. I'm selling this one 250. People come to my inbox. We start exchanging notes. There and then people start paying money on mobile money, even before seeing the goats, and I deliver the goats. But one thing that has ensured, has enabled me to be in business up to now is honesty and to always give my customers quality. When somebody has ordered for something, I always ensure I give them what they have ordered for. And if something is really bad, if I see an animal is sick, I will not hesitate to advise my customer that, you know what, this goat is sick, I will not give it to you. Let me first treat it. When it's ready, I will deliver it to you.
Like any other business, Grace's farm has been faced with a number of challenges.
Some of the challenges I've faced here, especially when I was starting as a farmer, I used to have a mortality rate, a high mortality rate for kids, because my goats were still in a raised pen, and what I hadn't realized that they would hit themselves when in that pen, and also the pneumonia coming from down underneath the goat pen. It would affect the kids. Most of the kids would die. And to a farmer, when kids die, that is one way of showing that you're not making progress in your goat farming. And then the other challenge you're seeing, it is dry all over. Goats need water. We have an issue, a big challenge of water. Like you're seeing, the water is not so clean and it is scarce. We have just gotten water from out of the farm to bring it to the farm at the moment so that the animals could have some water. Then the other challenge I faced, we hardly get extension services at the farm. However much you try to look for them, Actually, some of us, we have decided to become extension workers to other farmers in the within around the farm because they are scarce. And then the other challenge was fake inputs and fake drugs on the market. You can't tell, you're a new farmer, you're a beginner, you don't know which is good, which is not good. Basically, you end up buying all category of drugs and to know which is working, which is not working. Actually, a few minutes ago, my husband has just told me the drug you bought, the injectable you bought for the worms, I think may not be working. I think we should revert to the previous dewormer we were using before because this one seems not to be helping. So chances are I either bought a fake drug or maybe we administered it wrongly in the wrong dosage. But if you had a vet around or somebody to guide us, we would maybe overcome some of those challenges, but we hardly get extension services, especially in this district.
When we return on Seeds of Gold, Grace tells us why she has chickens on the farm.
I started rearing local chicken because the other goat pen was abandoned.
Wild colored chicken roam within the ranch, picking at feed. Grace has brought in from the town center. These are free-range chicken, a recent addition to her livestock enterprise. Grace has an interesting reason for rearing chickens alongside goats on her Rakai farm, one that crisscrosses three operational concerns.
I started rearing local chicken because the other goat pen was abandoned. So I had to put in something so that this goat pen does not go wasted. And then also I put in the local chicken. They try to eat around the ticks that may attack the animals in the farm. And then also, it also helps in security purposes. How? For example, if a thief is coming to steal, they would first steal these pet thieves. They would come first for the local chicken before coming for the big thing, especially the goats or the cows. Yeah.
Grace nurses hopes of retiring from active lecturing this year, a dream that will see her focus all her energy on her farming and farm touring business. Her vision is very clear in her mind.
I'm planning to expand, most probably by mid this year, after I've solved the issue of water. Water is our biggest challenge. I want to start my goats, some of my goats, especially the kids, feeding them on pellets, so that I can be able to sell them within 6 to 8 months. Within 6 to 8 months, they should have gained at least 30 kilos. But now, I cannot do it because it's dry, we don't have the water. Currently, I have a gentleman who has come from the district, sent to me by the district veterinary officer, Dr. Chimbugwe, and he has come to survey around to see if we can get access to water through drilling a well. And without water, there's nothing we can do. Like you are saying, this water is dirty. We are getting it from the dam. So we really need some clean water to enhance this goat project the way you are saying it. Yeah.
Raising goats can be a lucrative and enjoyable experience as long as you are well prepared. Grace has a few words of advice to potential goat farmers.
The advice I always give to farmers who are starting this goat business, please and please don't start with expensive material. Use the locally available material to start your goat pen. Use the local 1/inch to construct. Don't get somebody from Kampala. You have a farm in Chiruhura. Those people can construct these pens with your guidance to save on cost. And then, if you are going to start, visit at least 2 or 3 farmers who are already in business, so that they can share with you their challenges, their ups and downs. How have they been able to make it up the way they are? You get it? But when we got most of these people, When you ask them, most of them want to go to farms nearby Kampala. The real good deal is always out of Kampala, where you see the real thing. Big, you see they are not few goats, they are many. This is where you get the real big thing. I would advise the viewers out there who are seeing me, when you are starting into this venture, to start with local goats, the Mubende goats. One, they are easy to manage. That even if you are still on a learning curve and you are meandering, you don't know what to do, you have taken long without deworming them, they can still survive through this heat. I think you can see it is really hot, but these goats are looking nice. And they can survive any kind of disease most of the time. Unlike these hybrid goats, too much heat may affect them, especially if you have bought a pure breed. Not giving them enough management and care may kill them. So I would advise all starting farmers to start with local breeds. Then with time, after you have mastered the art of goat farming, you include males to cross with your local goats.
Grace intends to leave formal employment this year and fast-track her dream of scaling up to more than 3,000 goats. We spoke to Kato Hussein Walusimbi, a livestock nutrition scientist and research officer at Nariri, Nachesasa.
When you talk about commercial goat farming, we cannot say it has really established itself very well in Uganda. What we actually have is the traditional goat farming, but the pressure, the demand is pushing farmers into commercial goat farming, and some areas they've started thinking seriously about commercial goat farming. Some farmers have tried to start in their own way, and some farmers have tried to come to seek for guidance. Yeah. But commercial goat farming is just at its infancy in Uganda. We still have a lot of constraints to real establishment of commercial goat farming in Uganda. If you wish to reach 3,000, that is talking about the goat population on the farm. But we have to first look at what is your objective. What do you wish to bring to the market? Do you wish to bring to market stock or meat goats that have reached market weight, slaughter weight? Because these two, if you are targeting stock, then there is a different arrangement if you are going to be commercial. Then if you are targeting meat goats, slaughter goats, then we have a different arrangement we look at. So, assuming you are looking at stock, there we shall consider you to be a breeder. Okay? Then there you'll have to look at particular lines or breeds of goats. The most productive and most marketable breeds we have today, we have the indigenous, the Mbende goat. We have the Chigezi goat, it's also very good. Then we have the small East African goats. Those are the indigenous goats. They can all perform well under that arrangement of stock. Then we have the exotic, the exotic, but they are just foreign, they are just introduced. They are not all exotic per se. The Boer goat, that is from South Africa. Then also the Savannah, it's also from South Africa. All these are good quality meat goats. Milk is not yet so popular with our farmers, with our population. Yes, it is accepted, it's very good milk, but farmers, people don't really don't enjoy taking goat milk. Essentially, a commercial goat project is supposed to have a monthly target. Okay? And it should bring a quality meat goat on the market that produces tender meat with good flavor. These are not goats that have spent 10, 5, 6 years on the farm. No. These are goats that have just reached between 12 and 18 months. They produce the best meat. So, if a farmer is preparing a commercial meat goat, he has to set his target properly. How many animals does he wish to supply to the market, to bring to the market every month? Then we base on that to determine the actual size of the project. But this is not what we see among farmers. The farmer just brings his goats, puts them there, they begin producing. Some goats will stay for even 4 years before he decides to take them to the market. But economically, once a goat reaches its market weight, all the time it spends on the farm is just wasting. It's just wasting resources on the farm. Because once it has reached the weight, it will not add on any more weight. It will only add on fat. And it's very expensive nutritionally to build fat than to build muscle. The market for goat meat, is immense in the country. I will just elaborate this by looking at just one hotel. We have some nearby hotels here in Kampala, and you can look at the consumption rate of one hotel. It could consume like 2 or 3 carcasses of goats every day. Supposing a farmer was targeting supplying goats to just that hotel alone, and he has to supply it with 3 goats every day, how many goats will he have supplied by the end of the month? That will be 90. And by the end of the year, it will be 1,008. There is no single farmer that can supply and sustain that market. Just supplying 3 goats to one hotel. Then we have these people who are roasting them on the roadside. Whenever I interact with them, one will tell you, I always roast 2 goats a day. 2 goats a day. If you are going to target just that one person, then it will require you to supply 60 goats every day, every month, which will culminate into 720 goats a year. There's no single farmer who can sustain that. So essentially, the market is immense. What we only need is to organize our farmers properly for the market.
Grace has not put all her eggs in one basket. She has extra agriculture activities apart from the goat ranch. These are namely farm tours for farmers interested in training, cattle rearing of Boran and Ankole breeds, banana plantation. And she will not stop at that. This is just the beginning for her agriculture story.